Welcome to T-Smack, home of the T-Smack. May I take your order?
Hey there, hi there, hello there. Welcome to an all-new episode of Talking Smack, where we talk superheroes, movies, animation, comics, and so much more. I am your host, Josh Scar, and joining me as always is everyone's favorite little kitty cat that loves to curl up in a ball and snuggle in your lap. It's Alex. Alex, how are you doing today?
I am a little concerned. You know cats are allergic to flowers, and yet this room is just filled with bouquets of roses and amethysts and thyme. There's no catnip. It's so romantic in here.
Well, I mean, who can say where the rose goes? It's only time. Also, the rule of thumb is you can have cats, you can have flowers. You can't have both.
Yeah, that's true. Now I will ask you this very important question. Are you feeling in the mood for romance?
Always. They don't call me romancing Scar for nothing.
Oh, well, I've heard that. Went down to the Five and Dime over near Poundland, and someone else was like, "Hey, have you seen Romantic Scar lately?" I'm like, "Oh no, I have not."
Yeah, because it's romancing Scar, not romantic Scar.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right. I hope everyone enjoys the new intro line because I think that's going to stick around. I really think it's fun, especially after we did that promo last week for Joey and Tim, which if you haven't heard it, listen to last week's episode of Two Blokes from Blighty. We did it. We got a little Wisconsin there. And I think I decided after that one, I was like, I like doing hello there, but I think I'm going to add in the Wisconsin hater hi there. It's a nice little homage to my heritage, as well as like something fun that's a nod to Ryan George with his hi there, hello. But it's just, more localized for us. And then I still get to do the hello there, which I think Joey said he wanted me to do the hater hi there, hello there, which it probably will eventually morph into that because there's going to be a day where I don't do it. And it's going to just hater hi there, hello there. But I like doing the hello there in the not stereotypical Wisconsin accent. I don't know. I feel like it's more classy.
Oh, it is. It just brings you right up there with the bubblers and the cheeseheads. But the cheeseheads
goes.
The cheeseheads are sad right now because they're not in the playoffs, and the playoffs is all that matters.
The cheeseheads are always sad because they always get knocked out of the playoffs. It's our curse.
And they get to watch McCarthy go over to the Pittsburgh and reunite with Patrick Graham, and then reunite with possibly the Rodgers.
Yeah, the discount double check might be getting a reuniting with his old coach. Feel sorry for the Pittsburgh Packers over there.
Yep, those Packers are really sad over in Pittsburgh over at Three River Stadium.
Just like Green Bay North.
We'll just call them Green Bay East.
And then there's the Green Bay South, which is one of the more cursed programs in all of the NFL, which we're not just talking sports. We're talking smack, which I found out the talking smack that is also around, like they haven't done an episode in like 3 years. But their talking smack was actually like a regional North Carolina college district or high school sports district. So like, I was like, oh, I mean, I guess that's cool, but I feel bad for anyone in that district trying to find a podcast about their sports thing. And then they get sent to us.
We should reach out to them and invite them on and be like, hey, let's see if we can merge this.
Just really confuse them. They can have their North Carolina Southern accents and everything's a Coke. And then all of a sudden we just get there like, hey, have you had the cheese curds yet? Has your town gotten to Culver's?
Exactly. Hey, listen, we'll love to talk to that high school quarterback. What do you think of 1985's Romancing the Stone?
I was talking with someone. I really enjoyed that promo that we made for Tim and no, you're the one that's muted. Okay, I got confused with my screen. It's been a long ass week, man. I was talking with someone that I played the promo for that we made for Tim and Joey, and we just started talking about like our regional accents and like where we are in the Midwest. We are really diverse with our Midwest accents, which like where you grow up, no one has an accent. Everyone else has an accent, but we have a Midwest accent. It's just really strange that like, I remember really being annoyed with people in high school who had a little bit of that Southern drawl to them, even though they lived their entire lives. And as far as I know, had like generations in the area, and yet they had the Southern accent. and then you move a little bit across the border and you get the like standard Midwest accent that like you and I have. Then you get the Wisconsin in there sometimes, especially if you head further east or west. And then you get like that South, which I'm too locked into the Wisconsin accent to get to that. But the one person was really like, "That's are you doing Canadian? What are you doing?" It's like, "Oh no, you hoser! Canadians more around here, eh?" Which I can do. I can lock into the Canadian. It's a little bit Wisconsin, but then if you shift it just a little bit, you get Minnesota, and then you get the oofta.
I never realized until someone like sent me, I don't know, like 6, 7 years ago, Midwestern words. How when I moved here, I picked up "ope" very, very
Ope is
quick.
the easiest one to pick up.
Anything like you moving around somebody, "ope." You like almost run into somebody, "ope." You know, it just and we went to the store today to pick up some groceries, and I never realized. I think I started counting. I was on like 7 or 8 "opes" by like the 4th or 5th aisle, and other people were doing it to me too. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is way too true. This is really weird.
My favorite thing in our area, ever since "ope" became a memeable word for our area, and like if you're on a regional Facebook post group or something, social media group, "ope" is like one of the first things you see. And I love it when open signs, the N is out because they're just "ope."
Yeah, I love that. Oh, that's so true.
And I apologize to our Canadian listeners for my bad Canadian accent there. I really
Sorry,
enjoy just doing it every now and again because calling someone a hoser just feels great. Then you got to climb the hydro pole, which is an electric pole.
Oh, the hydro
I-
pole.
Yeah, the
Isn't that a
hydro
water
pole.
pole?
You would think so, but no, it's a hydro pole. And then you got to go to the Tim Hortons.
Oh, Tim Hortons a must.
I went to a Tim Hortons in Missouri once, which I don't think I recommend that to anyone. Maybe only Tim Hortons in Canada are good. At least the one I went to was not great. But they did have a really fun aesthetic with hockey sticks as their door open handles.
That tracks.
Yeah.
You walk in, the hockey sticks, and like, oh, welcome. And on the wall, there's like a picture of Wayne Gretzky and Jim Carrey, just framed and gilded.
Don't forget about the frame photo of the Nathan Fillion Civilian Pavilion as well.
Exactly. That's outside of every Tim Hortons.
Speaking of things that are outside at least my room every day, it is the Game Club Pod. We're going to hear from them, and when we come back, we are going to make recommendations for romantic movies that you should watch this week leading up to Valentine's Day. So we'll hear from Joey, Tim, and Alex, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to my friendly game club, where everyone is welcome. The podcast where we share, we play, we run and sing. Well, we don't run, but we do sing.
Hey kids, are you looking for a new favourite fortnightly video game review podcast?
Then boy howdy have we got the show for you.
We take a different game every 2 weeks and we review them just like a book club.
You can find us on all good podcasting platforms.
And some of the sketchy ones too.
Simply search for the Game Club podcast and join the club today.
And don't forget to join their their Discord, and as well as their Twitch. I think Twitch is where I was getting confused. I was thinking social media with Discord and Twitch. They stream every Thursday. They always have fun. It's a good time. So, Alex, are you ready to have a good time and talk about some romantic movies that we recommend people watch this Valentine's Day?
I can feel it calling in the air tonight. Oh, Lord. No, that's not a romantic song. Fuck yeah.
Can you feel?
I mean,
Everyone has the feels right now.
the sexiest tiger ever.
Tiger.
Lion.
Are you getting lions confused with? No, Bagheera was a panther. Shere Khan? That's who I'm thinking of. Shere Khan was the tiger.
Oh, lions, tigers, bears. Oh my.
Oh, what the heck was? Who was the fox, or was he a coyote? Now you got me thinking about Tailspin for some reason.
Oh,
Don Carnage, that was his name. The Sky Pirate. I'm doing a horrible impression.
oh man, we should watch Tailspin. I haven't seen
Oh,
Tailspin
we ain't.
forever.
Oh, we ain't.
Tailspin-
Oh, we ain't. Oh, we ain't.
Tailspin was like just a core part of my life watching that on Disney Channel.
You know, that was supposed to be a Launchpad series until they realized that Launchpad was in too many things, and so they made it a Jungle Book kind of spinoff.
Really?
Yeah, he was in Launchpad was in DuckTales and Darkwing Duck, and then they were going to be like, oh yeah, let's put him in Tailspin. And then they went, that doesn't work. He's in too many things.
Hey, Launchpad's fantastic. There can never be too much Launchpad. But Josh, I would like to discuss one of the seminal movies of my developmentalhood. This came out at the perfect time for me. And it came out it solidified Baz Luhrmann's career, made everybody fall in love with Leo, even though everyone already loved Leo. Claire Danes was wonderful. And this is right before Titanic made Leonardo DiCaprio biggest thing in the world, as he's, still mostly is 30 years later. But it's Baz Luhrmann's, William Shakespeare, Leonardo DiCaprio's, Claire Danes' Romeo and Juliet. This movie should not work because it is Baz Luhrmann, who only had done a movie before called Strictly Ballroom. And it was them doing
When did he
Romeo
come
and
out with the Graduation song?
Don't know. But this came out in 96. And they're doing Romeo and Juliet, but they're using the original dialogue as written by Shakespeare, which is why it's subtitled William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. But it's in modern day, like Venice Beach, California. They're all wearing 90s clothes.
It's a really weird aesthetic, but like because it's Baz Luhrmann, it works.
Yeah, and at one point they're like talking about getting their long swords, and he reaches up and like the shotgun name is Longsword, like the brand. They're all rolling out pistols. You have Mercutio, who's being played Tybalt, being played fabulously by John Leguizamo. Chewing the scenery, he knows what Tybalt's role here is. As Leo's like, best.
Do you bite your
friend.
thumb at me? I bite you.
Claire Danes is ethereal and lovely as Juliet. Leonardo DiCaprio is every teenage, early 20s girl's heartthrob at the time. He's got that slightly bleached, long, bangy hair hanging in his eyes. It's
the pre-Bieber.
Oh yeah, it's wonderfully done. You have Paul Rudd briefly in there as I think Juliet's other fiance or something, but it's so frenetically filmed and it's so just over the toply perfectly done. And I think a large part of that is Baz Luhrmann. He knows and understands music. And Romeo and Juliet had 2 soundtracks that came with it that were like perfect 90s. You had Garbage in there with Number One Crush. You had Everclear. You had One Inch Punch, Desiree, the Butthole Surfers, the Cardigans, Radiohead. And that's just on like soundtrack 1. And then the second soundtrack actually includes most of the music from the film. But it's like this perfect encapsulation, like mid-90s angst, while also Baz Luhrmann like telling people like, I can do something weird and it's going to totally work. And it's a no budget film filmed like for $12 million, made over 100 and something. But one of my favorite,
that's not even including secondary market with DVD and home video.
No, the soundtracks were like charted for like 2 or 3 years. Both of them were just there all the time. But one of my favorite little tidbits of this, other than just it's perfectly done. It's beautifully cast. Leo's perfect. The dialogue works, even though they're spouting, truly Shakespearean stuff. The changes to the car, calling cars chariots and stuff like that works. Is that originally Natalie Portman was cast alongside Leonardo DiCaprio. Now, Leo was about 23, 24. Claire Danes, I think, was 18, 19. I think Natalie Portman would have been like 16, 17.
Yeah, she was still pretty young.
Yeah, but everyone said sorry, hun, you should not be in this movie. Because Leo looks 20s, early 20s, and she looks still like Queen Amidala.
She was very babyface until probably 2004, 2005.
Yeah, somewhere around Black
I
Swan.
think like V for Vendetta is when she kind of started losing the baby face.
Yeah, definitely V for Vendetta. Baz Luhrmann said it did not work because when they were kissing, it looked like Leo was molesting her.
And little did Baz Luhrmann know that Leo would have worse age gaps going into his future.
Hey, he's dating someone who's like 27 now. It's okay.
Oh my lord. She a grandmother?
But this movie just worked. You understand the romance of, I mean, they're stupid teenagers who cause all their own misery and problems. But it just works. The music, the direction, the energy, the whimsy of the characters, and I love it. And if I hear one of the songs on streaming on the whatever on Spotify Shuffle or some crap, I'm like, this is just a fun movie. And the introduction of Claire Danes as Juliet when Leo sees her and they see each other through that aquarium is such a perfect shot of like in her little angelic costume wings that she's wearing. It's perfect.
So just to answer my own question, Everybody's Free to Wear Sunscreen by Baz Luhrmann was released in June 1996. So around a year after Romeo and Juliet came out.
All right. Oh, I forgot he wrote that.
I think he also did the speech for it. I can't remember.
Other than his movie Australia, he really just hasn't had a miss.
Yeah, Australia is weird. I mean, they did expand it to like 72 hours and made it a TV series at one point, but I mean, that worked a little bit better.
And now he's got a release, I think earlier this year, late last year.
I mean, I would argue that his Great Gatsby isn't very good either, but I think the Great Gatsby outside of the book is also just really boring. I don't know. I can't get behind an adaptation of the Great Gatsby. It just doesn't work for me.
I liked it, but I only watched it like once. And now I more remember it for the memes of like anytime someone's saying congratulations, you get that Leo in a tux lifting the glass with the fireworks behind him thing. I mean, that is another movie that is basically just powered by DiCaprio's performance as this super charismatic character and Baz Luhrmann's just energy behind the camera, knowing like this is a shot.
And you have the chemistry with Leo and Toby since they're like childhood best friends.
Yep. What do you say, Sarah, for a romantic movie that stirs the heart?
So I'm going to piggyback off of yours because I forgot about this tidbit until you decided to lead off with Romeo and Juliet. Moulin Rouge. Do you know why Come What May did not get nominated for Best Original Song as the only original song in that entire movie?
One, I did not realize that was the original song for the movie. I thought it was part of the jukebox. So no, I did not know that. And then two, why?
Come What May was actually written as a credits song for Romeo and Juliet, but they cut it because they decided to make it a soundtrack movie. So they just kind of sat on it for forever, and then they put it in Moulin Rouge. But the Academy decided that because it was written for a previous work, it did not qualify for Best Original Song.
That's stupid. That is
and Ewan McGregor knocks that song out of the park.
No,
in both versions.
Yeah, I'm kind of pissed about that. That's ridiculous. I assumed that is dumb. Nicole Kidman does well, but yeah, Ewan McGregor, just man.
Obi-Wan Kenobi can sing, man.
It's definitely one of those movies where everybody in that movie is selling it 1000%. Even you got Kylie Minogue.
They fully understand they're in a hyper-realistic, bizarre musical, and I love it. Like, it's frenetic. It's a Baz Luhrmann movie. Like, the pace is just frantic. It's insane in the best way possible. And they choose, like, the only really bad cover I think that they do, it's a jukebox musical for the most part, with the exception of Come What May. Every other song is a pre-existing song that they're covering and repurposing for this movie. I'm not a big fan of the way they present Roxanne.
Screw you. I love that one.
But the the interlude with Ewan McGregor with the "Why does my heart cry?" Love it. It blends in there perfectly with that really rough, gravelly Roxanne, and then he's got this beautiful, solemn, depressed song. It's beautiful, but I don't like the Roxanne. I hate it. I don't like it.
See, I love that because the Police's version is so just romantic, and Sting does sell the Roxanne part of that. No, but I love it because it's such like a guttural tone, and the direction like slows down for this part of the film. And so you really sell that this part of the movie is starting to suck. This is where there's schemes.
It's the all is lost moment.
Yeah, their schemes have like started to get against them. Satine's illness is really starting to take hold. Christian is conflicted. It's somewhere around there he does his brief he'll turn a bit of a complete asshole.
Yeah, he pays her and he's like, "Oh, she said she didn't love me, so I'll throw some money at her and she just gave me a good time, so whatever."
And again, John Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo as a dwarf, yeah. Which again, just absolutely amazing in the role. This tiny little bohemian dwarf with a lisp who's he's a producer or a director, and he's trying to get his great bohemian musical made at the Moulin Rouge. And then, like you said, you have Nicole Kidman as Satine, which, like, I don't know if I've ever seen her as charismatic as she is in this movie. Like, this is one of those movies where quite literally she lets her hair down and she just lets it all play out. And it's amazing.
I will never forget, I believe it's at the Academy Awards, where somebody gets up there and presents about one of the nominations that the movie got. It got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 nominations: picture,
Wow,
actress,
that's impressive.
cinematography, costume, film editing, makeup, sound. And someone said when it like announcing the directors, I think it was during that time, said, who's not in this because apparently Moulin Rouge had no director. It's possible. It's like, you can't. Yes, the film editing does a lot of the heavy lifting because of how just frantic the cuts are, and especially when you have that part where they're drinking absinthe and Kylie Minogue briefly shows up as the fairy doing her dance, and then Ozzy Osbourne is the voice talking to them from her. It's so weird. But yeah, no, you can't tell me that wasn't amazing direction.
Yeah, like you can't do a lot of this stuff if you don't have amazing direction. Like the Elephant Love medley that ends up with them dancing in the clouds with the enormous moon operatically singing while they're next to the Eiffel Tower.
No, it's beautiful. And one of the things that I love, what is it? When they're trying to pitch their show of shows kind of thing, and they realize that the bad guy, whose name the Duke, right?
The Duke.
He had been like eavesdropping, and he says, and he tries to sing with them his little part of like, there's something special and feeling, and they're like, oh yeah, there was definitely a song about that.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be the theme song of the show. Like clearly, like Satine came up with it thinking about you. Like therefore, it's going to come around.
I just love that part because it's one of the few parts that I feel bad for him, because he is a guy who's in love with, I mean, she's not really a prostitute, but she is, but she's not, but she is, and he's like, those words for me, right? Because he's trying to lie to himself that she's not in love with somebody else and that this is about him in some way. And everybody kind of like realizes, oh, he's really pathetic. We got to go with it.
And then you also, on the other side of that coin, you have Ewan McGregor just playing this naive young writer who's just ready and willing and waiting to fall in love. And then he falls in love with essentially the first woman he sees. And the play up of all of that interaction where like the first time they actually meet and she's confused and thinking he's the Duke, where he thinks he's just pitching the show. And you've got John Leguizamo and the crazy cast of characters like eavesdropping and watching him. And I forget what she's like, just grinding on him in some way, and she's just like, "Oh, big boy!" And then John Leguizamo was up in the window. He's like, "He's got a huge package."
I do love it because there's like no romance to this moment at all. But Ewan McGregor, but the first person who ever touches him, is like devastated and like attracted and love all at once, and she's doing her over the top yes I love you. Like,
oh,
she's
poetry,
like,
yes,
and she's like, okay, you can tell she's like going along the lines of like, okay, I got 5 minutes before the next person gets here or the Duke shows up, so let's get this over with. And then everybody's like trying to watch and also make sure that this happens quickly because they're on a schedule.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Baz Luhrmann in this because I know last week I poo-pooed a lot on like the terminally ill romance, and I think one of the reasons why I like Moulin Rouge is because it doesn't linger on the tragedy of
No.
like what's to come, especially since Satine is like hiding it for so long and she's like kind of delusioning. What's the word? Not delusioning. She's kind of dissociating
Yeah.
herself from like her inevitable fate, thinking like, "Oh, it's fine. I'll get better. I'll just pull back once this is done." And she's just literally working herself to death with this show. And
Yeah.
eventually when it comes to the point where the movie crescendos and they have the big come what may reprise, and it ends with her dying, like it's heartbreaking because it's been a movie of just highs and escalation and absurdity, and now all of a sudden we descend into this hugely dramatic moment, even though we were told from the moment the movie started, like, this is the story about how the woman I love died.
Yeah, it's not like a tricky, like a trick kind of like misery porn kind of film. It's more that she's driven to succeed, hoping that if she can have this moment of glory, then she can address everything else. She's just not expecting Ewan McGregor to tie her, to like win her heart. She's like, okay, he's another person. Oh, I'm supposed to sleep with him. I'm not supposed to sleep with him. Oh, he's writing. Okay, cool. And then she's also balancing all, like you said, she just has everything's up in the air and she's just working for a moment to this moment. And then once she kind of gets that moment, it's just the exhaustion hits her and everything's done. Everybody basically she's carried this weight on her, hiding it, masking it. No one really knows. And then once everybody has achieved this common goal, she can give up. I mean, her body gives out. And I think I love that more than like something like Sweet November or Love Story, where it's like a delusional aspect of it. I mean, like the delusion is really herself of what she's like working herself towards. It's not the story isn't like giving up on it or like, it just hits different how they portray it versus these other ones where the focus is, oh, my heart's going to break because of of the illness and the death that's coming.
I think it's because they play with a little bit of hopefulness where she's not really accepting that she's about to die. She's continually just like, it'll be fine. This is just a really bad asthma attack.
Yeah.
I don't know, even though I'm coughing up blood. But I did just remember the actual line that John Leguizamo says during the prior to the Elephant Love medley. He has a huge talent. That's what he says.
Josh, I'm still pissed about Come What May.
Dude, ever since I found that out, like I've been mad too, because like it makes no sense. It didn't show up in the movie just because it was written for another thing. Doesn't mean it should not be nominated when it shows up in the thing that it was released in, as long as it wasn't released prior.
Yeah, I'm so mad. So my next favorite romantic movie is John Wick. No, I'm kidding.
The story about a man and his dog.
Well, about his wife who dies from terminal illness, fits the theme, and leaves him a dog. No, I love this movie so much, and it's a product of its time, and yet it's perfect. It's written by Diane Thomas, who unfortunately passed away shortly after the film came up due to a car accident. it was like her first script. Even though she had kind of touched on and worked on like a little bit of like other stuff for Spielberg and Lucas. And it is a wonderful movie. Comes out the year before Back to the Future, directed by Robert Zemeckis. It is Romancing the Stone, Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner, Danny DeVito, and El Guapo himself, Alfonso. Romancing the Stone is such a stupid, slightly sexist movie. But it's so good.
Aren't all movies in the 80s just slightly sexist?
Yeah, but Diane Thomas, who wrote it, she
not
knew
to,
what
not
she
to
was.
excuse it. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like you just have to. It's your free space in the bingo card of romantic movies of the 80s.
Yeah, but Diane Thomas, who writes with just such deft skill of like she knows how to write her heroine to give her agency, even though Kathleen Turner is playing this kind of like shrewish character. She's a lonely romance novelist, and it starts off with this beautiful like wild west kind of thing where this woman's like going to be like attacked and she kills the bad guy, but then all his minions come and her husband like rides in on a horse and together defeat them, and they ride off together, and it then cuts to Kathleen Turner, who just bawling her eyes out, so touched by her own writing. And she finishes her newest novel. And then it's this wonderful montage of like Kathleen Turner walking around her house, like looking for like cat food, but she has notes all over the fridge. You need more food. She's looking for like a tissue box, but they're all empty, and there's like a pile of tissues. So she's like using paper towels, and then she like runs out of them, and she has notes to herself: buy more tissues, buy more paper. You know, because she's just so focused on this. And then eventually she has to fly down to Colombia because I believe it's her sister, mailed her a package that leads to some treasure. But her sister gets kidnapped by the bad guys, and so she has to go down there, and eventually she runs into freaking hunk of mid-80s Michael Douglas, who is
He likes ants.
Oh yeah, and he's an exotic bird smuggler named Jack T. Colton. Jack T. Colton. And of course they're thrust together, and he falls in love with her. She falls in love with this brutish man who is exactly the kind of man she writes. But of course she runs into him and she hates him. And you just see them just falling in love with each other and how they learn to trust each other. And very briefly, you get Juan, who is El Guapo. He's like the head of the like. They suggest he like runs this small town like from drug runner kind of thing, because they walk into town and everybody like turns on them and like has guns on them, but they need a car because they're stranded. And so they end up at Juan's place, and he puts a giant gun through a door, which is a great moment. And then he sees her and he's like, "You're Joan Wilder? I love your books." He's a huge romance novelist, and it turns out everyone in town loves her books. They like when the new one comes, like they get like a shipment of the books, and the whole town like runs down there and gets the book and reads them. It's a great subversion, and it's just she's attractive and lovely. Kathleen Turner as Joan is. Michael Douglas is like perfect. Danny DeVito is this horrible. The roles fit for him in the 80s. He's just kind of like down on his luck smuggler whose brother is a better smuggler than he is. And he's just kind of like this pathetic guy who's chasing after them, hoping to steal it out from under them. It's such a fun little romance movie. And of course they separate because he can't be there when the bad guys are arrested because he's a smuggler. You know, Jack T. Colton isn't. And so they separate, and she thinks she'll never see him again. But shocker of shockers, after the book is published that she writes about this movie, about this moment, of time together, who shows up on her doorstep? It's a beautiful, just little movie. And Robert Zemeckis' deft hand to pivot from this to Back to the Future is such a just bleep. It's beautiful.
It's unfortunate he can't keep doing stuff like that because like he was like the next Spielberg. He was Spielberg's protege in the 80s and 90s. And now he's just like, I want to make horrible looking animated features.
It's so weird. Like whatever, right after Castaway, to do just Polar Express, Beowulf,
Polar Express,
Christmas
Beowulf,
character.
Christmas Carol, yeah.
Yeah, he like did Flight, the Denzel Washington movie, which was kind of like an adult drama. But then he went Welcome to Marwen and Pinocchio. I just understand like what he's attempting to do.
Yeah, he seems kind of rudderless and aimless. I don't get it what he's going for with anything he's doing anymore.
No,
But while you
yeah,
were going on about Romancing the Stone, a movie I haven't seen, so I didn't really have much to chime in on.
you should watch it.
I did think of a few like unconventional romantic movies that maybe we can tangent for a second. A Valentine's Day double feature that I think everyone can get behind would be a double feature of George of the Jungle with arguably best ever looking Brendan Fraser and Leslie Mann. Hilarious and adorable and amazing. And then you can double feature that with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz in The Mummy 1999.
Oh, totally.
Everyone walks away from that movie bisexual at the end of it.
Oh yeah, no. There's a beautiful meme called like my sexual spectrum is the cats of the mummy, and I'm like, yeah. But no, I completely agree with you. The Mummy, they're so good together. Like there's no one in that film. There's no love story in that you don't buy. And while The Mummy 2 is not nearly as good, there's Anaxunamun and The Mummy together. There's sweetness in it. And The Mummy 2 is saved by, I think, the ending where you see the juxtaposition of what
where
one
after
person
Anaxunamun gets knocked into the pit, the mummy shows up, Imhotep shows up like 5 seconons later and goes, "No!"
I love that. No,
the
I'm talking
timing
about
on that cut is amazing.
Every time it comes up, my wife and I just kind of look at each other and we're like, what was the call to action there? Like, what was
the editor
frame?
just didn't know what the action like there's too long of a gap and the editor just didn't realize it.
At the end when it's like the pyramid is collapsing and Imhotep and Brendan Fraser are clinging to the edge, being pulled basically into sticks. And Rachel Weisz runs up, grabs him, pulls him to safety, and then Imhotep looks to Anaxunamun to do the same, and she runs away, and you can just see his heartbreak of she never loved me like I loved her, and then just gives up and casts himself into the pit. Oh man, my heart breaks, man, because that second movie, for 2 movies, his goal has been, I'm doing all this because I'm in love. And it's denied to him because the first movie he never really gets it, but the second movie when he gets it, it's not the love he was it just hurts.
So another unconventional romance movie or just like fun action adventure movie with a really great romance, or really sexy romance, I guess would be the proper way of putting it. The Mask of Zorro.
Yes.
Antonio Banderas and Catherine Zeta-Jones. My God, that chemistry is just. Oh,
that movie is the movie. Speaking of Michael Douglas, that movie is the movie that made Michael Douglas go after her to marry her. He talked about it, like he saw the trailer and he was like, I'm going to marry her. And he did. And bravo to him for that. But
props to him, and they're still going strong.
No, I can never forget the trailer where Zorro helps disrobe her, and like 11-year-old me is like,
I remember seeing that trailer, looking at my dad, and like, we're seeing that, right?
We're seeing, and it's like, yeah, you can go see that. I'm like, yes.
Everyone's like, oh yeah, Zorro. Yeah, we love Zorro. And then every preteen boy sees that shot, and they're like, yeah, okay.
But that is just another movie where it is the chemistry makes the movie perfect. They are electric in every scene together. She quips well at him. He does it back to her. You do buy their romance. It's the whole, are you in love with Zorro or are you in love with me kind of thing. And it works. It's wonderful. You're making me want to go back and watch all these movies, Justin.
I know. I mean, I was just trying to think of other interesting things to say because I'm like, man, Alex is really going off really passionately about this thing. What else do I have? And I was just like, man, I really love The Mummy and Rachel Weisz and Brendan Fraser and Antonio Banderas and Catherine Zeta-Jones, like, oh man, that's not even like a romantic movie, but like the chemistry and the charisma between all of those people, like that's gonna make a room pretty steamy pretty quickly. And if not nothing else, that's what we're going for with this episode. Is we're trying to find you steamy movies that aren't gonna like get you in trouble if someone walks in.
Okay, I will throw out another unconventional one because you remind me of Antonio Banderas and his
Desperado
steaminess.
has a sex scene where you
No.
see Salma Hayek's boobies. Like that's not that doesn't count.
No. Spy Kids. Antonio Banderas with
I'm
Carla
giving you a head
Gugino.
tilt. No one can see it, but I'm giving you a head tilt.
Because they're so sweet together. And I love the end of the movie. I think it's the end of the first one where Danny Trejo Machete comes up. He's Uncle Machete. He comes up and he's like apologizing because he's worried like the kids have been in trouble or something like that. And you see Danny Trejo just bawling, and Antonio Banderas like wraps his arms around him and and like is hugging him. He's like, oh, he's like, Latinos, very emotional. But yeah, no, I always bought that Antonio Banderas and Carla Gugino, that the two of them, the Cortez family, that they would have these children, and and they love them and they're passionate and they get in trouble, but of course the kids are going to save the day. They're going to rescue their parents. I love it. Just
Carla
Yeah.
Gugino was Rebecca in Son-in-Law, wasn't she? I think that's right.
it would be around the right age for her to be like emerging and taking roles like that.
Yeah, Carla Gugino.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Good
remember
pull.
my stuff.
Good pull. Nice.
So my actual next recommendation
Yeah.
beyond Son-in-Law is a good unconventional one too. Like that one's super sweet and fun. And that's another one of those movies that I have to remember to set aside the next time we actually do a rent-free moments episode, because there's a moment where they get a bunch of manure and Pauly Shore just sees it like, and it's warm and radiating heat, and he goes, steamy like a jacuzzi. So I say that all the time and no one knows what I'm saying. I'm just like, God, people need to watch Son-in-Law. That's celebrating 33 years this year. That's insane.
Oh my
So
gosh.
next romantic recommendation I have. Do you want live action or animation?
Oh, let's do animated. We haven't done one of those.
Okay. I'm gonna recommend Your Name.
Oh, me? I am romantic. That's sweet. I don't think you can get me at the video store though.
No, the 2014-2015 animated feature Your Name by
Oh.
Makoto Shinkai. Absolutely beautiful movie. Not conventionally romantic in the sense of like there's this like budding romance. The first like 30, 45 minutes of the film, you think it's a body swap movie, and then it becomes a detective story, and then someone says, I love you, and it's amazing, and you feel so many fucking things, and it's just like, I need more of this in my life. It's just an amazing movie, and I've talked about it so many times on this podcast and other podcasts. There's a really great episode of Animation April where I'm on the Cultworthy, where Slade and Antonio had not seen it, and then they came back and they're like, Jesus Christ, Josh, you like broke me with this one in the best way possible. And I will link that episode in this description if you want like full spoilers for Your Name. But if you have not seen it, you want to watch something romantic that's not like conventionally romantic and just like beautiful, thought provoking. It's not exactly what you think it's going to be. Your Name is top tier anything on it'll become one of your all-time favorite movies by the time you're done with it.
Since you threw out an animated one, I will too. Howl's Moving Castle. My wife absolutely loves this film. I didn't get it maybe the first 3 or 4 times I saw it. I was just kind of like, this seems kind of like slightly Alice in Wonderland-y, where the protagonist doesn't seem to do anything, that she
The
just
movie
kinda seems.
happens to them.
Yeah, but the more that I've watched it, the more layered it's become, and it is beautiful, and there is a love story in there that makes sense, and it wraps around itself. And my wife is like, we've seen this maybe 100 times now because it's one of her comfort movies. She can just put it on and we can watch it, or in the background, just something there that brings comfort, And we've noticed how little things tie around each other, and the beginning matches the end, and there's a little bit of a time paradox in there, especially towards the end where Sophie has to rescue Howl from himself in the past. But normally that crap doesn't make sense, but this actually does. And it's a really just beautiful done story in which Sophie, this little hat maker who is neglected by her family, ends up cursed by the Witch of the Waste and becoming an old woman. And she thinks to basically save herself, she needs to go find this mysterious Howl who has a moving castle. And because he's the only other powerful witch that she's heard of. And even though he's this terrifying person, she needs this curse to be broken from her. But instead of like really but she can't, because the way curses work, you can't say you're cursed, but you also can't name the person who cursed you. So there's really not a great way to get uncursed. But she didn't know any of that before she shows up at the castle, and she tricks Calcifer, who is a fire demon who lives in Howl's fireplace. Billy Crystal does the voice fantastic. And yeah, it is a little bit like the first time you watch her too, you're like, oh, I guess this is kind of weird, unconventional love story that things just happen to Sophie. But then you start noticing how she makes things happen despite her curse, and the way the story would twist upon itself. And this is one of those moments where you have Billy Crystal, who is a name. He's actually perfect as Calcifer. And you have Christian Bale, who is the voice actor, is wonderful as Howl.
Yeah,
This is one of those
pre-Batman Christian Bale. Like, I think he had just come off of like Pocahontas and a few other like smaller roles before he got into like The Machinist and then Batman.
Yeah, and it actually really works. It's one of those where it's like, where you think of like, I mean, you think of him now, but as you're right, this is pre-true fame. He's been around for a while. The story's beautiful. The animation is beautiful. The way it is almost nothing like the book from what I've seen people complaining who are fans of the book, but whatever. Even the author said that she loved all the changes and stuff. And it's a lovely, just easy to watch, beautiful love story that has anti-war messaging, but also has messaging about fleeing your responsibilities and what that does to you. How you injure and hurt people through your own selfishness. And it's a beautiful little love story that works. And the more I've seen it, the more it's just little pitter patters of happiness. I only really have one more full recommendation.
All right, go ahead, go for it.
Well, okay, before everyone gets mad, listen. Yes, Sense and Sensibility, but we dedicated like an episode to that like a few months back. Go listen to that. This is I'm going to say kind of unconventional because this is a Nancy Meyers film. Nancy Meyers, wonderful, absolutely wonderful writer director. Then Father of the Bride. She wrote that. Private Benjamin, one of like the first big Goldie Hawn movies, and she wrote that. She wrote the Lindsay Lohan Parent Trap. That was actually her first directing gig. Directed What Women Want. We'll skip that one. I like it, but I think not aged well.
It's definitely, it didn't age well the minute it came out, but like I think that was partly the point.
Yeah. She's also done like The Holiday. It's complicated, but I am recommending, especially for our older audience, 2003, Something's Gotta Give. Jack Nicholson, Diane Keaton, Keanu Reeves, Frances McDormand, Jon Favreau, who I always forget was an actor before he became Jon
he was
Favreau.
A hunk for a while before he packed on some pounds.
Yeah, and Amanda Peet. The story is what you would expect. Jack Nicholson, mid-60s guy, only dates young ladies. So he's dating Amanda Peet, who was an up-and-comer at the time, late 20s, early 30s, about the time this movie was filmed. And he goes for a weekend away with her, runs into Erica Berry, who is her mid-50s, early 60s mother, who's a successful playwright. Ends up spending the weekend at their at their beach house in Long Island, I think, something like that. Ends up having a heart attack through romantic liaisons. Well, Amanda Pete is like, well, I'm going to go back to living my life, and he is recommended to recover there. The doctor who's working with him is Keanu Reeves, which I will say, Keanu is so good in this role. Yes, he's a doctor, and you're like, well, Keanu doesn't play smart. Shut up. Keanu nails this role. He's a young, handsome doctor. Nicholson bounces well off of him. Diane Keaton bounces well. And what happens is there's this great line they did it in the trailers. Jack Nicholson's like wandering down the hallway, sees Diane Keaton like coming out of the shower or heading to the shower. They startle each other. She like flees and goes. And by the way, she is an attractive woman. This, I think, was one of her first nude scenes in like forever, especially being in her like 50s. And anyways, so he mentions it to the doctor because he ends up back in the hospital because his heart raced. And Jack Nicholson and Keanu says something along the lines of, she's just a woman. Of course she's going to be like, attractive. And he's like, listen, I'm not a doctor. I don't see women that old. It's such a sexist, horrible line, but Jack Nicholson sells it. And what ends up happening is that Jack, who's never been in love, so he's not like I've been divorced 16 times thing. He's Jack. He and her start kind of falling for each other, but they end up in there's of course the complicated strife thing happens towards the end of the movie, breakup, anger thing. And what I absolutely love is that the resolution of this movie, because it's a romantic movie, they're going to get together, is later on, she puts out her next successful play and she shows up Jack shows up. He goes to see it because the play's about him, about how much of an asshole he is. They end up having dinner together because they're adults. They can do that. And she's been dating Keanu Reeves for a while. And Keanu, in that dinner scene, looking at the three of them, the two of them, how they're interacting, how she's interacting with him. There's no big emotional strife. There's no anger. There's no vitriol. You can just see Keanu, the way he's acting. He realizes there's a connection between the two of them still. Not only is there a connection, there's a deep, deep connection. And he gracefully bows out of the relationship because he knows she's going for him, for Jack. And I love it. And it's such a deft and beautiful way to handle it, because most movies, what ends up happening is there's some anger, there's tears, there's like, you still love him, don't you? And she's like, yes, I do. And their anger and all this crap and brokenheartedness. No, it's just this graceful of like, okay, I get it. And it's beautiful. And I love that. And it's a great, great movie. It's older love. It's people in their 50s and 60s showing that they can fall in love. The romance, they're like, there's this great moment where Jack Nicholson's trying to win back like Amanda Pete, but she's just like, yeah, that was fun, but you're like an old guy who had a heart attack when we're doing it, so I'm going to move on with somebody my age. It's a beautiful, and Nancy Meyers writes romance and writes love so well. I mean, that's part of the reason why Father of the Bride, that she had written 15 years earlier with Steve Martin, Father of the Bride 1 and 2 are also good recommendations of romance and love. But I love this movie because Keanu does so well in this role. He truly acts. And I love the gentle resolution that love doesn't have to be, you don't have to end a relationship with screaming and anger. You can end a relationship because you've progressed on. And I love the way that they ended that. Erica is like in love with Jack still. Keanu bows out. They go together. Keanu's life's not destroyed. He's not angry. Amanda Pete's character, who's Erica's daughter, she moves on. There's no anger. There's no like punchline of like, I used to do her. No, there's nothing stupid like that. It's a beautiful movie.
So before I get into my last recommendation, I do want to throw out an honorable mention to a movie I've been considering all week about how to push it or recommend it, and that's Atonement, which it's a tragedy of a movie in terms of like how you're going to walk away from it, because you're going to be heartbroken. Keira Knightley, James McAvoy. It's a beautiful movie. steamy in certain parts. Like you get some good romantic stuff in there, and it is. I think it's an easy watch, but it's tough because of what is happening on screen. Um, but it's a movie that takes a turn where eventually the romantic stuff and the relationship stuff dissipates because the point of the movie starts to happen. And so it's a little harder to recommend as a romantic movie, but I think it's still a movie that you're going to walk away from feeling something. And for a good portion of it, you're going to be like, attractive people doing steamy things. I like it.
Is this the movie where she's like shoved into a fountain or something like that and stands up?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, it's that one. Yeah. This is
It's the movie that I went to go see with my sister, and a family of 6 showed up late to the movie right at the library scene, and they immediately got up and left. I don't know what they thought an R-rated movie called Atonement was gonna be, but apparently they didn't think it was gonna be that.
This also doesn't Pimber Bumble Cucumber Bunch is in it?
Yeah, I think he plays a general, like he does in
Okay.
almost everything before he makes it big. He's always
Okay.
just like that British general somewhere.
And this is the one where was it Saoirse Ronan is the young pain in the ass like sister, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah, that movie. Yeah, yeah. Okay. I know which movie you're talking about. I've actually never seen it, mostly because I really, really dislike romance movies built upon like um misunderstandings in which people get in trouble for. But I
Yeah.
understand this one is like does it so well.
It's really well because it's done really well because, like, it's not a huge spoiler, it happens early on in the film. So Saoirse Ronan's character is in love with James McAvoy. She's, like, 12, and he's 18, 20, somewhere in there. Keira Knightley is supposed to be somewhere around that same age, like 18 to 20, and she's, she's just a rebellious, well-educated woman in the early 1900s, and she and James McAvoy are like in love, but they can't say it. And they have like an antagonistic relationship because it's like, you're stupid. You're stupid. I love you. I love you too. It's one of those kind of things where like they're constantly arguing, but they're saying like, I love you through the argument. And then Saoirse Ronan's character sees them having sex in the library one night when he's invited over for dinner. And she lies and says that he saw her assault her, and so he gets thrown in prison. Then he gets indentured service into the military during World War One, and the movie kind of happens from there, where Keira Knightley and James McAvoy keep finding their way back to each other despite circumstances and trauma pulling them apart. It's a beautiful movie. Like I strongly recommend it if you have the stomach to get through that first like 30 minutes of the film.
Okay.
And the name Atonement is very important for the film, just to know. But my final recommendation, we shit on Love Actually really hard last week for good reason. But this week, from the writer and director of Love Actually, I strongly recommend you watch About Time.
Oh, I love this movie so much.
It's so good. I have a Valentine's Day episode, I think from last year, maybe 2 years ago, with Antonio at the Cultworthy, where we go like really in depth on this film. This is a film that Ricky and I got to see an advanced screening for back in 2014, I believe, maybe 2015. We got early invites from AMC, like, "Hey, there's a new indie film coming out. We would love to get your opinion on it since you're one of our like longest tenured rewards members. Feel free to come on." They don't do that for me anymore. I don't know why. But we went and saw it. We were just like, "Hey, free movies. We'll get some slushies, have some popcorn, and hopefully it's okay." And we walked out of that movie being like, "Okay, so that's our wedding song. We're gonna have to buy this when it comes out on Blu-ray. We're gonna have to see it when it's actually released in theaters, and we have to let everyone know that this movie exists."
This movie, low budget film, Donald Gleason, Bill Weasley from the Potter movies, as well as General Hux from the Star Wars sequel trilogy. He Rachel Adams, Bill Nighy. They're basically the trinity of this movie. this movie's premise has been used before in a way that it comes off as like a sleazy romantic comedy thing. A guy can go into the closet and rewind time to get the girl. Listen, it is so much deeper than that. Because
but they
they
play
layer
it off
rules on
so
it.
well too,
Yes.
because he gets to her first. And so like we're rooting for him because he met her, fell in love, and he has some amazing lines where like when he
Uh-huh.
gets her phone number after that first meet in the blind bar, and he's like, I always thought this phone was shit. Now it's like my most prized possession. Like, oh, come on, man. That woman is going to bed with him that night with a line like that. I don't know women that well, but like I feel like that's a good line.
Yeah, and so there are some jokey incidences, very playful, where he like goes back to like fix some arguments and stuff that they've had, but it turns out this power is a hereditary power passed down to the males
From
of
male
the
to
family.
male, yep.
And they don't tell each other that this is a power that develops. They really only say it once the father realizes the son can do it, because the son stumbles into it.
Well, they say that it's like on their 21st birthday, they just reveal it.
Oh, really? I thought he.
No, it was Bill Nye calls him in like New Year's Day, I guess
Oh, okay.
Tim
Yeah.
was born on New Year's Day, and he's like, "Hey, by the way, the men in our family can travel through time," and
Oh, yeah.
they have this whole amazing back and forth, and he convinces Tim to go stand in the closet, and then all of a sudden he goes back to the night before and he fixes some problems.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I forgot about that part. I thought it was like they could.
I've watched this
But yeah,
movie too
it's
many times.
revealed eventually. Yeah, it's revealed eventually. But there are certain rules that start developing as they're going through it. Like you can only travel back so far, and one he finds out towards the latter part of the movie is you don't. Once people start having children, you don't want to go back before then, because you're resetting time, which means they might not get pregnant that night, or that might not be the sperm that hits the egg, and you can start destroying things. And what I love about this movie is, yes, it is a beautiful love story. The complications that arise, the one that always gets me is I never had a strong relationship with the person who's my father now. It's my mom's current husband, who I met when I was a late teenager. He's my dad. But I never had like a good relationship with earlier father figures. This is a love story also about a father and a son. And the kind of like the crux of it is you can go back in time, and if you don't change anything, when you go back to the future, things are just the same, but you can revisit. And his father eventually passes away, and he starts using it to go back to relive moments, because he realized he never got as much time as he wanted with his dad. And his dad mostly used the power just to read books, which I love. I love that. So he's like, what did you use the power for? Oh, mostly to catch up on my reading, And there's this beautiful moment that I cry every time, where he realizes this is the last time he's going to be able to use this power to see his dad again. And his dad, who is already gone, but in that moment realizes that this is their last time together. And it is a little time paradoxy, whatever, don't care. It's beautiful. And they have their last father-son kind of like meet up and hang out together. And it is so beautiful. I always bawl, because I've always wanted a beautiful relationship like that. And I do have that now with my father. But at the time I did not, when I first saw this movie. And it got me then because it's something I wanted. And it gets me now because it's something I have and I need. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, I fully agree. Like, any ladies listening, if you really want to like see if your man has feelings, like watch About Time. You're both gonna enjoy the first like 4/5 of it, and then the final fifth, you're gonna know if if he is emotionally healthy, or if he's just like, whatever, man.
It's a
But yeah,
beautiful movie, man.
I agree wholeheartedly. Like that movie makes me cry every time. Like that father-son relationship. Like my dad and I were not like a perfect father-son relationship. Like he annoyed me to a larger extent than I think maybe other people's dads didn't. But if I had that ability to go back and go see Star Wars with him again, or take him to go see Iron Man, which is a movie I know he loved, like, I would relive those moments in a heartbeat. Or just, like, sitting down at Culver's with him and just chatting with him about the Packers. There's so many moments that just you don't really think about until the person's gone, and, like, that's one of the beautiful lessons of this film is that, yeah, even though you have the ability to go back in time, finding the beauty in the moment is more important than creating the perfect moment.
It's so good because you never feel like he's using this power to be manipulative.
Except for when he like re-gets Rachel McAdams back after his failed attempt to do something right.
Yeah, I mean, and there's also the consequence that happens later when he learns a lesson about how he's not supposed to do some things. But it's never like the sleazy, like I'm just going to reset time really quickly to make sure I get with this chick tonight, or like I'm going to reset time to, I'm going to like go back and make sure that I get like make my way through every chick in the bar. It's never that thing. It's he's learning lessons as he goes.
One of the more beautiful moments in the film is when he gets to go out and have dinner with Margot Robbie's character. I forget her name, but Margot Robbie's character was like his first love. Like she stayed at his house for a summer because she was his sister's friend, and they bump into each other years down the road after he's out of college, and she's like, "Hey, let's go get dinner," and then they like have a great time. He walks her back to her apartment. She's like, "Hey, you want to come in?" And he has this realization of like, "No. I love Rachel McAdams, and this was a mistake." And so, like, he could have very easily had sex with her and gone back to before, and he just whatever. But like, he said, "No, this is fine. I don't need to fix anything because I didn't technically do anything wrong." But like, I do also love his buddy Rory. The first time he sees Margot Robbie's character, he's like, she's the kind of girl that if you had sex with her, you die. You just die." And it's like, you're probably right.
It's such a sweet movie. And
my favorite word, sincerity. The sincerity of the film is just wonderful.
Yeah, it kind of makes me happy and yet sad that he hasn't directed anything since. He's still written a bunch of stuff. And he has a movie comes out every year or two that he wrote. But his like really only 2 movies are Love Actually and About Time.
And then he stole Yesterday, if I remember correctly, or at least he was the writer for that one and allegedly stole it.
Allegedly. That's probably Danny Boyle's fault anyway. Wasn't a good movie.
He
anyway.
wrote Sunshine and directed Sunshine. Don't put that on him. Sunshine is perfect, god damn it.
It is.
It is. It really is.
But that's not a romantic movie though.
No. That would be an interesting double feature. Sunshine and Project Hail Mary. I might have to do that.
You should.
When Project Hail Mary comes out, I might have to watch Sunshine before and see how that plays out.
Yeah.
That might be a good double feature idea.
We'll title the episode Project Hail Sunshine.
I'm walking on sunshine. One other recommendation, again, just because I shit on a lot of like terminally ill, tragically doomed romances last week. I do want to say like A Walk to Remember is a movie that I've seen once in my life, and I enjoyed it for what it is, but I also hate it. But it's not a hate in the sense of like, oh God, how awful. It's more just like, I don't want that in my life. I don't need that energy in my life. It's a beautiful movie. I love Mandy Moore. I think my biggest problem with that movie is that I don't find the male lead to be like conventionally attractive.
Yeah.
Or handsome. He has that like Devon Sawa kind of look to him where it's like, yeah, I can see where a girl would like him, but like he's not Chris Evans. He's not Chris Hemsworth. He's not oh God, I'm forgetting M'Baku's name. What's M'Baku's name?
M'Baku, attractive man. My wife saw the what is it, the teaser for Doomsday, and she went, "Oh, he's in it. I'm in," because he's a lovely man.
Winston Duke, that's his name.
Winston Duke, yeah.
Yes, Winston Duke Swoon. I don't know how I could have forgotten his name. Just I forget the name, the lead character, the lead male actor in A Walk to Remember. But like, I just in what is it, basketball? Or they're like, I'm not gay or nothing, but you got a sweet ass.
I love basketball.
I'm not gay or nothing. Very 90s mentality. But like, I am an ally, but I don't go for the men. But like, I have no problem admitting if a man is attractive. And the lead actor in A Walk to Remember, just I don't find him very attractive. So I think that's part of it is I don't buy into the romance. I'm like, Mandy Moore, you could do so much better than him. Just because you're dying and he's willing to marry you, like don't settle. You've got time. Not a lot, but you can find someone better.
All right, my last going to be recommendation. I'm sniping from you. Listen, 10 Things I Hate About You is adorable.
Whoa! You did not snipe this for me. You suggested this one like weeks ago.
I know.
And I just reminded you.
Listen, we have Julia Stiles, Heath Ledger, R.I.P., Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Larissa Olenek, who,
Alex Mack.
Exactly, Sick World of Alex Mack. That's where I know her from. That's where I fell in love. It is a remake of Taming of the Shrew. William Shakespeare. But it came out during that time of like She's All That and all the films where it's like, oh my God, she's so ugly because she has a ponytail and glasses. But there's a cute earnestness to, Gabrielle Union's in here, who is like 30 years older than all of them, but still looks like she belongs in high school. But it's so earnest and fun because Julia Stiles is perfect for the I'm a bitch and I don't care. And she plays that role amazingly. Heath Ledger as the bad boy, total 80s
Smoking in the library during school hours kind of guy.
He's basing his entire performance off of Bender from Breakfast Club. Yeah, I have Joseph Gordon-Levitt who just wants to take out Bianca. Alex Mack, Larissa Olenek. And it's a great, fun movie. And the stupidest
thing. Then you've got long-haired, handsome dude from Full House that's in this movie somehow. Like, that's one casting choice that I was like, this guy was still doing things in the early 2000s. Like, I thought he just was in Full House.
Yep. What was that? Andrew Keegan? No.
I couldn't tell you. He's just long-haired, handsome boy from Full House is the only way I know him.
So, So Joseph Gordon-Levitt hires Heath Ledger to take to woo Julia Stiles because that's the only, because if Julia Stiles, the older sister, goes out on a date, then Bianca's allowed to go on a date. That's the way her dad's rules are, and hilarity ensues. And I will.
Is it the pregnancy belly before they go out on their dates? Yeah, you have to wear the belly for 20 minutes before you go, just so you know.
Yes, their dad, who is Larry Miller, who is the quintessential overprotective father because their mother's passed away, and he's an obstetrician, and he's always worried that they're gonna get pregnant. And he's like, "Do you know how many teenage mothers I help deliver every week?" And yes, before they go on a date, even though they're in their prom gear, he has them pull on the 9-month pregnancy belly. He's like, "Do you want to be walking around through high school?" It's great, but there's this dumb line, and I will never forget it. And I really question who the hell wrote this line. But they're like, "Listen, your sister," because they're telling Bianca this, like Bianca, she's discussing with her friends, like her sister, who's like a shrew, is a shrew. She's never even shown any attraction to men, and they're like, "Listen, what you got to do is you need to go through her clothes and you need to go through her underwear drawer. And if she has a pair of black underwear, that does mean she eventually wants to get laid." So she breaks into her sister's room and finds like 5 pairs. It's the dumbest thing, but it makes me laugh every single time because it's like, really? that's what you went for? But of course, then we have Julia Stiles later, who's trying to get Heath Ledger out of trouble on the soccer team, and the way she distracts the coach is she's like, "Hey," because she's on the soccer team, of course, she's like the captain, and she's like, "I've been," to distract the coach from letting Heath Ledger get in trouble. She runs out onto the field and she's like, "Coach, I've been thinking about it. I think there's this great way we can distract people." Okay. So how do we? Well, wouldn't it distract the other team if like we showed them our boobs and she flashes? It's so
Not
stupid.
problematic, not at all.
It's so dumb. I mean, there's just these little things, but of course it's perfect because you have Heath Ledger, whose big romantic display is being chased by the cops while singing a love song through the
I
stands.
love you, baby.
Hey. It's if you're going for a high school comedy, there's romantic one. This is good. She's All That, sure, that's fine, but this, I just prefer this.
Not Another Teen Movie really ruined that scene for me though, because Chris Evans singing Janie's Got a Gun is so fucking stupid. And then they tackle her like, she's got a gun.
Oh, that's right. He's singing it and they swarm. You also have him from that movie walking out parodying Friday Night Lights by having him being like spray painted his Cool Whipped his crotch.
Varsity Blues.
Varsity Blues, thank you.
I don't want your life.
But walking out with the Cool Whipped his entire junk.
And he's got the banana up his ass. What movie was it that I was... Oh yeah, it was when we had the That's Not How It Went Down guys on. Someone from work actually listened to the podcast, and they were asking about October Sky Rocket Boys, and I was trying to explain to them October Sky in a way that was like really concise. And I was like stumbling over, and like by the time I came up with this analogy, I could have just said like, oh, October Sky is a beautiful movie about boys from a coal mining town in Pennsylvania that had bigger dreams and figured out how to launch rockets. But instead I came up with, it's Varsity Blues, but in a real story. Because it's one of those I don't want your life kind of stories. Or no, I said it was Varsity Blues for nerds. That's what I said.
Yes.
It's based on a true story.
Which, by the way, Not Another Teen Movie also was my awakening. Yes, I already loved Kimberly, the Pink Ranger, but the constantly nude foreign exchange student was the Yellow Ranger from Power Rangers Galaxy.
What? No way.
You almost went walking right there.
No way.
Yes.
I mean, for me, Lacey Chabert, like I didn't watch Seventh Heaven or Party of Five or whatever CW show she was in. Seeing Lacey Chabert in that movie was like, oh my God. And then I found out she was in Mean Girls, and I was like, oh my God.
Oh, I need to rewatch Not Another Teen Movie because I love that so much. Like, especially Chris Evans, like, oh, she's disgusting. She wears overalls. Oh,
oh, not Janie Briggs. She's got paint on her overalls and ponytail and glasses.
I forget that Chris Evans really was this wonderful background. Not background. Actually, that was a lead role, but this wonderful actor who was such a dirtbag in so many movies before he became Cap.
And then Josh Radnor and From How I Met Your Mother he had a cameo and a small speaking line in the film is when Lacey Chabert makes her like first grand entrance and is at the house party, and one of the guys is like, what the hell's going on? And Josh Radnor like raises a finger and he's like, we don't talk until she moves.
I did not know that. I'm gonna have to rewatch that. Is Not Another Teen Movie also the one where that guy continues to fail to get everyone to slow clap at the right time?
Yes. And then the last thing I'll shut up of, like, we're just quoting stupid jokes from this fucking movie at this point. Eric Christian Olsen as like the smarmy asshole best friend. Like, he played that role so well. And the Weekly Planet guys, they recently, or somewhat recently in internet terms, watched the Thing TV show spinoff that Sci-Fi had like 2-part movie event back in 2011. So the show or the movie takes place in like the 1980s, and their rule of thumb for any movie or show when you do a period piece is, do any of these actors look like they know what an iPhone is? Eric Christian Olsen is a guy that absolutely looks like he knows what an iPhone is, and he's in the Thing in the 1980s, and you're just sitting there watching him like, what is this future man doing in this show? Like, why is he here? He should be on his iPhone doing something.
I like it. Oh, it's funny. Oh.
But he's a handsome man. He could have been with Mandy Moore in the early 2000s and Walk to Remember.
speaking of handsome men, I recently posted about a handsome man on our Discord, which is tsmackpod@gmail.com. You can click on the link below because
Look
Henry
at you doing
Cavill-
transitions without me prompting you. You're
'Cause
growing
Henry
up so
Cavill-
fast. 240 episodes in.
Sir Henry Cavill has begun filming finally Highlander, and he posted photos from the first day of the shoot. And then I was like, well, this is on Instagram. What's his last photo? And it was from 13 weeks before, a shirtless photo of him rehabbing his leg. And I'm like, for all the ladies out there and me, I'm posting this as well as, hey, here's some like scenes from here's a few pictures from the set of Highlander, and here's shirtless Henry Cavill. So if you want to see things like that, click the link below. It's tsmackpod@gmail.com.
I still need to see something from his live action Voltron movie that they made for Amazon. Like, I have not seen anything about it. And
that movie's not coming out.
It's going to be so bad. Like, it's another money laundering scheme, I'm sure.
Oh, it has to be.
But I need to see it.
There's no way that movie ever comes out. They're burying that. It's gonna be sold to Tubi.
Or Quibi, which doesn't even exist anymore.
Oh yeah, remember when that wasn't a thing?
Yeah, you can watch your vertical videos where we cut off half the screen, which like Rachel Brosnahan was in one of those Quibi original horror movies that they did. She was a blonde woman who loses an arm and gets a golden arm instead, and she like gets poisoned by it and goes insane. Good stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, as Alex said, you can click the link in the episode description to join our Discord. And if you want to chime in on the Discord as well, like with my hater, hider, hello there, the other option is I go hater, hider, hello there. Welcome to another episode of Talking Smack. I know that's eventually going to happen, but I don't want it to happen. Follow us on all the social media platforms, Blue Sky, Facebook, YouTube at tsmackpod@gmail.com. Thank you to Leon for our musical themes. Thank you to Beppo for our avatars, Retro Studios for original avatars. Like, subscribe, rate, review on your podcatcher of choice. If you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know your favorite romantic movies. And Alex, there's a TV show out there that people should be watching. What is it?
Watch Star Trek Deep Space Nine. It holds up.
Who loves T-Smack?
I love T-Smack. Is it true? Mm-hmm. I do. Ooh.
We rambled a little long there. I went a little terms and conditions apply voice.
Hey, they do.
Terms and conditions apply. Anal leakage may be happening if you have adverse reactions. Please call your doctor. If your eardrums start bleeding while listening to Talking Smack, please consult your doctor.